Vel entered the Angdrast prison, walking past many other elves and a few doors, as he approached the chamber with the most hated being on the planet. Nodding to the two Titan guards, he walked into the prison chamber. Seen upon a mock throne wrapped in chains of mithril, was the one he'd been sent to interview for posterity before he was to be executed. "You are hated. You know that, right?" Vel began, looking at the monster sitting restrained before him in the guise of a man, though the monster only smiled and gave a half shrug. "I would expect nothing less, in all honesty." "May I ask a question, then?" Vel asked, watching as the monster's face appeared to mull over the request before nodding. "You could have done so much good. With all your power and influence, you could have improved countless lives. Why, in all that is holy, did you decide to commit such great evils?" "I see. You are aware of my past, right?" the monster asked, arching a brow curiously. "Yes, I have read your many fake records of the good deeds in your past. However, when you seized the throne, you were no longer obligated to fake such records." "Ha!" the monster barked in amusement. "You think those records were faked?" "Aren't they? There was a clear difference between how you were before you took the ebony throne and how you were after. Or are you suggesting that the throne drove you mad?" "In a way, yes, I suppose," the monster said with an amused smirk. "Simply put, no head of state can lead a nation with his own personal ethics." Vel narrowed his keen eyes at the monster, bowed before him, and glared. This thing, that he would be sickened to call a human, for such a thing would be an insult to the humans of the world, was treating his endless sins as if they were a matter of course. "I can see you are unconvinced. An example shall perhaps persuade you. Let's say there is a village where an illness has taken root. This illness, if it spreads, would end countless lives. Would you, without mercy, burn the village to the ground, leaving nothing but ashes?" Disgusted by the very idea, Vel shook his head. "No, I would quarantine the village and try to offer treatment." The monster tilted his head in curiosity. "Even at the risk of the villagers escaping, or those offering aid being infected?" Vel nodded. "Yes, I would offer help, as that is the right thing to do. Let me guess, you would burn them, probably with a smile on your deranged face." The monster smirked at the suggestion. "Quite the opposite, actually. When I first ascended to the Ebony Throne, I was met with such a conundrum. I did just as you suggested you would do. I isolated the village and sent in healers. It was my generals that suggested I burn the place to the ground. Then we burn them all and end the illness right there." Taken aback by the notion, Vel looked at the monster, but could see no deception in his eyes, only sincerity. "So you once did something nice. It does not excuse your countless sins." "Nor do I say it would. My point is the worst that could happen did. Some villagers slipped through the quarantine that they deemed an unjust imprisonment. A few of the healers also became infected, though the illness did not display symptoms, till it was much too late and they were far away." "So you justify your countless sins with one escaped illness?" The monster locked his gaze with Vel's and spoke but two words. "Black pleasantry." The monster's words shook him. There wasn't a school history lesson that did not teach about the most virulent and deadly plague the world had ever experienced. When it spread across the globe, it killed close to a third of the population of the planet over the years it was active, with countless smaller outbreaks over the following decades. "It started in that little village," the monster continued, almost conversationally. "A small place called Pleasant Tree, funnily enough." The monster almost seemed nostalgic, mentioning the village's name. "It's how the plague got its name, you know, though records of this have long since been lost. So knowing what you know now, would you burn that village? Would you condemn those innocents to save countless more? How many people would have gone on to have children, on and on, had I been willing to put my ethics aside for my nation?" Vel had no answer for the man bound before him. While I will not deny I have committed many wrongs, understand my meaning when I say the alternatives for many of them will be far worse. As I said earlier, no head of state can lead a nation with his own personal ethics. I learned that lesson, and countless people paid the price for my education. So deride me, condemn me, but I'd wager many humans in my position would make the same decisions, and like me, they would hold no love for their choices. Vel looked at the man bound before him. He was set to be executed, and Vel's job was mostly to get an idea of why he had done so many evils. But now Vel couldn't help but wonder, what was down the roads had he not done them? A thought he did not wish to contemplate.